As of late, people have been saying, like, oh, Ben Affleck's so talented, who would have thunk? I think a lot of you just forgot Good Will Hunting.
What happened? 6 of the hostages went out a back exit.
Where are they? The Canadian ambassador's house.
Got Revolutionary Guards going door to door.
Hi, I'm MaffmanJones, and today's feature review is for Argo. Argo is Ben Affleck's third directorial film, and it stars himself, Bryan Cranston, John Goodman, and Alan Arkin. This movie, for the most part, aside from the exaggerated dramatic purposes, is basically a historical story, and it took place in the late 70s, early 80s, specifically 1979-1980, and it's about the Iranian hostage crisis. In 1979, Iranians took over the U.S. Embassy, and there was about 50 to 60 people in there who were taken hostage, but during that process, 6 of them escaped, and they went to hide in the Canadian ambassador's house. Ben Affleck, who joined the CIA with Bryan Cranston, tried to figure out a way to help out these survivors before they get killed, and Ben Affleck comes up with a bright idea of making a fake movie and basically setting up the fact that these escapists are scout locators for a movie called Argo, and it's a big sci-fi action-adventure Star Wars ripoff. So now Ben Affleck's character, Antonio Mendez, must go to Iran to find these 6 survivors and bring them back to America safely before these Iranians find them and kill them all. Now, this is an understatement when I say I was excited for this movie. Ever since I saw The Town, I realized that Ben Affleck isn't the greatest actor, even though he's not a bad actor, but he's a brilliant director. And this movie basically solidifies Ben Affleck as a director, and if he can do what he's doing now for years, he will be one of the best directors of this generation. Starting off with the performances, everybody gave a valiant effort. Ben Affleck was good. I mean, he wasn't great, but he was good for the movie. And, I mean, he's doing other things, not just acting. So you gotta give him props for all this that he's going through. People who stood out to me were Bryan Cranston, who I think could get a possible supporting actor nom for Oscars. John Goodman had a nice little role. And Alan Arkin had the most memorable role in the film. He was hilarious. This film was basically laid out on the foundation of Ben Affleck's shoulders, and he had the immensely difficult task of bringing this once classified case from the government to life on the big screen. He put together a great film that has 3 structural acts that all make sense, and he builds a lot of tension and suspense through dialogue and character development. Now, where The Town was very violent and gun-oriented, and a lot of action, a lot of bank robberies and all that, which is great, Ben Affleck decided to step out of his comfort zone and make a film like this, which you would never expect, because this movie it's Oscar bait, no doubt, but it's also a very entertaining movie just because it's enlightening and making a satire of Hollywood. This movie takes place in the late 1970s, and it very much felt like a 1970s film. It was really weird. As I was watching this, I got this very classical, timeless vibe from it. And even though the story towards the end is elevated for dramatic purposes, obviously, because you have to make the movie more entertaining than real life, because real life is boring. The film spends the first act developing these 6 survivor characters, and Ben Affleck and Bryan Cranston, all these guys, and even though this is based on a true story, you really become emotionally invested, and towards the end, when Ben Affleck is trying to actually get these people out, some sequences would not be as intense and as frightening as they were if you didn't care about the characters. One more thing I'd like to say is that if you know this time period in Hollywood and movies, you know this was a big booming time where Hollywood blockbusters were just starting to come to life. The big franchise of that time was Star Wars, and they don't bring it up in a very obnoxious way, but they do reference it in subtle ways. I felt that emotional connection there. Something about growing up with the original Star Wars trilogy just makes me envy everybody who grew up during that time. Argo, overall, is one of the best films of the year. It's very intense, very cinematical. It's just a very well put together movie, and it just solidifies Ben Affleck as a director. He is here to stay. This movie is one to be remembered. It will be remembered for a long time. It is going to be a cinematic classic. Wow, I just put this movie on a pedestal. I'm going to give Argo 5 out of 5 stars. It was fantastic. If you've seen Argo, let me know what you thought about it in the comments down below. Please like this video if you like this review, and subscribe to my channel. That would be appreciated. Also check out my Facebook and Twitter accounts on the channel itself. I am John of MaffmanJones Reviews. I can't get over this movie. See you next time.